Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I got some bars to these.
Run Ryan.
And the other thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
What grade?
That one at the go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Fellas, good evening. Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Just now, let me drink my punch because I need strength to talk about this shitty team.
Now, earlier, we in a final, right? And I think the only people that probably still celebrating, is Dan James. I mean Hoyland, right?
You call him Dan James, no?
Yeah, because that kind of celebration after that kind of performance, it had to be a Dan James moment. No, you were serious. You can be celebrating. There's nothing to celebrate for. He and Onana, right? No,
And Anthony.
No, fellas, the thing about it, it is continuously so amazing that this team have the capabilities to sink to new lows every game. Right? You telling me that we could go 3 goals up against the 8th place team in the championship all year. Right? And we leading for about 70 minutes. And then concede goals in the space of 20 minutes and almost lose. Now, I've been honest, fellas, right? I genuinely feeling sorry for Coventry because the better team did not win today.
Agreed.
Right? And for us, I think avoiding humiliation was the only positive. I don't think, fellas, right, as fans, we deserve what some of these players doing in their shirts earlier. Right? I was reading something on X, Twitter, and it said, Manchester United has produced one of the most embarrassing FA Cup semi-final performances of all time. I don't know. I don't know.
I just have one question to Nico. Nico, you still on the Ten Hag wagon?
Boy, it's sad. It's sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, finally an answering though.
I just feel that everything about that club too toxic for anybody to be successful right now. I don't think anybody can really go in there at this moment. I don't know. I confused, disappointed, depressed at the same time. Embarrassed. I like Ten Hag, but what I said, we went 3 goals up. As much as it was, it was dreary. It was like, we went 3 goals up all year. And then all fell down. The coach had to take the blame for all that. Yes, I know somebody take the blame. And if somebody take the blame, let it be Ten Hag. I agree. But oh gosh, all year. We can't be here alone, man.
It's not here. It definitely can't be here alone. But you know something? Even at 3-0, I tell my wife, what's wrong with that happen in this game, eh? And she said, God, Damien, I say, watch what going to happen in this game. The next time I tell her, I say, what's the score? She said, what's the score? I said, 3-0. She watched me in shock, disbelief, I don't know. But today, for me, today was a new low. And I'll tell you something, even though we were leading 3-0, you know what was going through my mind? Coventry eating through Manchester Easy, boy. All I say is Coventry getting through this team real easy. They just not finishing. Well, boy, they start to finish it.
I think when we was 3-0, we did enough to be in 3-0, to be honest. But Coventry wasn't really offering anything. But after that, oh my goodness.
Um,
I feel sorry for Coventry. I
I
find
mean,
we should have lost. I find
like,
we should have lost.
like, how much, like, do we feel like Coventry came into the match too timid, playing too, like it's two ways to beat United. You counter attack or you pressure them. I mean, any way could work, but two ways. I feel like they started off too timid and like
Yeah, they
they're trying to
respect me too
counter
much.
attack.
Yeah, they show us too much respect in the start.
Yeah. And then
At the
and you
start.
always thought once a team once they start to play against us and they see wait now, we could run through this team like, they realized it wasn't a thing. They went from 5 in the back to 4 in the back. They start actually playing football. It was gonna be some issues and sure enough, it's the same thing we've been saying, just free, open, guys just running through our midfield like nothing. The shots total went up. I mean, when I watched the goals, it wasn't like anything, really, it was a reflection here, Basaka. We'll talk about Basaka later, but we just lost control that fast, and that's been the issue with this team. And we've been talking about it all season long. We have no way of, well, for the most part, once a team starts playing, we can't hold the ball for 5-10 minutes at a time. You just can't do it.
Nope.
And the subs really didn't help that much. But at the same time, the same issues we've had. I mean, how many times? This is my thing. I keep going back to this thing. You can't have the same problem from day one of preseason, to now. It can't be the same problem of losing big leagues. I mean, it's been a theme, and we keep making the same dumb mistakes. It's like we always in the end of the game we try to score a goal and nobody back. All kind of nonsense. Like we keep doing this thing over and over again. So I'm not surprised. I mean, it was as Chef would say, a new low. From 3-0 to against a championship side team. Definitely a new low, but not surprising for me.
Yeah. Before I get to the comments, I'm gonna get Phil opening thoughts now.
Yeah, good night. I thought the 7-Love versus Liverpool was bad, and I felt embarrassed. But then, after today's highlights, I kind of feel disgusted to be a Manchester United fan. What else is there to say? Today was embarrassing. It was very embarrassing. 3-Love up and you effed it up. That's the best. That's the best I could say. Manchester United were in a comfortable enough position to see out this match 3-Love up. And I said, you know what? What if Coventry scored just one goal and we win it 3-1 or 4-1? I could live with that to make things a bit more interesting. And I am sitting down in my chair, and when I watched 3 goals from Coventry, and I saw the penalty that Wan-Bissaka can learn to hold his hands to his arm side. And Wan-Bissaka is one of our players that shows very little emotion. So it's almost like I could kick the ball on Wan-Bissaka's head, call for a penalty, and he would do nothing about it. But this, you saw how how fans and players reacted when Hoyland scored the winner, right? Now I'm hearing a lot of people going on Hoyland, and they do have their right to. So I can be a little bit different. Hoyland has never won a trophy in his life. Hoyland has never been to a final, and it's Hoyland's first season, right?
He's young.
So I could be, and he's 20 years old, 20 and 21. So I could be a little bit lenient. But you see that Brazilian Anthony? Oh gosh, boy.
Dan, he have no shame.
Oh gosh, boy. What you doing this to the Coventry players? Lo and behold, should we lose versus Manchester City May 25th, and one of Manchester City players who just happened to be playing in the same color as Coventry does this here to you, you're gonna want to get agitated and beat somebody again. No comment. Anyway, those are my opening thoughts. I have to talk about some players, but anyway, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. I'm gonna get some comments here, right? Satellite, Lee on the inside, good night to you. Thanks for joining, man. Red on the inside, thanks for joining. He's saying these players could spoil dog vomit.
Nah, them will take that. Them will take that and rotten it and all.
Yeah. David Curtin on the inside, good night to you, man. Thanks for joining, man. Arun on the inside, thanks for joining, good night, buddy. Curtin saying here, I clap when them score that offside goal. I was vexed it disallowed.
No, I feel so too, you know.
David, I with you on that.
No,
I actually said, well done, Coventry.
Yes.
So it's
I
funny.
said that.
I'll explain what I did. When I saw the goal score, I turned off my stream. And I was going to live. I had the live score app on my phone. And I see VAR goal being checked. And I saw the little circle spinning. And you know, I was scrolling through the feed on live score. And you know, lo and behold, ESPN said, wow, Coventry have came from 3 goals down to eliminate Manchester United. And then they have the actual picture of Ten Hag and then Man United eliminated. This ESPN, you know, worldwide renowned ESPN.
They had that waiting.
I know that the waiting. I got the screenshot saved on my phone. But when you see goal disallowed, I tell myself ESPN going to delete the comment or retract the comment. Nope. They themselves shameless as well too. But everybody today was shameless, boy.
I had taken off my TV too, admittingly. Yeah. I had taken it off, and then in my football group, I see somebody put VAR. I say, for all your boy, I say Manchester had to be the luckiest. And Eddie whistle blow as it done, you know.
Yeah, boy.
I say, wow.
Yeah. Curtin saying, yeah, I'd rather we lose this semi than get embarrassed in the final, to be honest. Yeah. Guys, don't forget to like and share the pod. Right, just know that you're not liking the performance, you're not liking where the team is at, but you're just, supporting all in all United, right? Riyadh saying here, Manchester United needed VAR to keep them alive against Coventry from 3 up to needing penalties, right? This is absolutely embarrassing. Anyone not willing to see the players have the mentality of a dead shrimp need to give their heads a wobble, yeah? Kristen on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying, I don't know if I'll realize, but the last few games we were in the lead and then up to Garnacho. All those games ended up drawing or we lost. Chelsea 3-2, Liverpool 2-1, Brentford. And today, how does Rashford remain on the pitch over Garnacho? It's crazy. Garnacho has the legs and always helps out defensively. He is also the better option going forward. All right, Red saying here, Onana stooped and watched the ball loop in slow motion too, right?
But Onana, if it was for Onana, we'd be out there.
You can't done them kind of deflection.
Yeah, you can't blame
deflection. You can't blame my people for that.
You can't predict that.
You can't predict that.
Nah.
But big, I come here to say big up to Onana in that penalty shootout, you know.
And before, what the volley the man hit? That bullet, I mean, it was straight to Onana.
But that was straight at Onana and Nicola. We don't go through that, right?
But still, other keepers that could have
yeah. Keepers in pet match saving that.
The only goalkeeper I could see go mess that up is Onana, and he saved it, right?
well, commendation to that. I something for commendation.
That's the best way to put it.
You know what I mean? That's
Adrian
just
Duncan on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying
Oh,
Manchester United
Adrian.
had me, using obscene and Grenada. We didn't deserve to win this game. Big up to Grenada, man. Thanks for joining. Mylon on the inside. Good night to you. How, fellas? That's all I'm going to say. Bye. Jody, Manchester United. All right. He's saying so. I did not want us to win after dropping that 3-goal lead.
None of us did, Jody. None of us.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, I vexed for replay, but we've known our team is bad for the longest time. I mean, it's not like I rather win, and I rather for us vex, that we win, than lose and we be sour and the whole world jump on us. I mean, they're laughing now, but imagine if we lost. I mean, we already know our team is bad. Like, I don't care, they could go and beat City by some kind of fluke thing, and I still go know our team is bad. But like, I don't want to lose. I mean, as bad as we playing, I don't need that. I don't need that kind of. No. I think we win
accepted the loss.
shamelessly. I'll go on with my business.
To be quite honest, I just think this is putting a slight pause on the inevitable.
Yeah, I want to get to that. Yeah. Kurt on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining. Chris on the inside, he say how we win and loss. It's true. All right. Riyadh saying, boy, them men have no spine. Right. Jody saying, anytime that goal was not offside, this would have go down as one of the greatest comeback in FA Cup history.
And one of the most embarrassing comebacks too.
Yeah.
Could say I surprised earlier had a podcast tonight with that deplorable performance today.
I really think consistent into the Manchester right now, boy.
If nothing else, we consistent.
And his performance too, again, a top performance we delivering,
We're not Manchester United.
Yeah.
All in all United.
Yeah. Could say here Ten Hag like to give Ahmad Kobo sweat, boy. And Ahmad come on and actually look like he care.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, Joey saying here his Onana name I hear calling there. Alright, Christian saying here who penalty was worse, Bernardo Casemiro had I don't know what was Casemiro sabotage it. Anyway.
We'll get to that. Keep on going. Right? I have a mental notes.
Akida on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying Garnacho need to feed some kids and get knighted. And he wouldn't be substituted again. Anthony's shameful too. Yeah. Jody saying yes, Simeon, don't get me wrong, but any side give up a 3-goal lead deserves not to win.
Yeah. But I still take it. I still take that win. Shoot.
Yeah. Anderson on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining, fellas. We need some more likes and shares on the podcast, right? Let me get the likes up now. Kurt saying here, first them fellas was pissed. They didn't even celebrate when Rasmus scored the winning penalty.
Oh, they did.
Adrian saying here, Ahmad deserve more playing time.
Yeah.
Since the Liverpool game, or even since before that, and what happened? He keep getting, as who said, Kobo sweat. He keep getting. So, fellas, I feel them fellas down tools by that they're not playing for Ten Hag anymore because it's almost as everything them fellas doing is self-sabotage. You look at performances. I mean, Rashford missing sitters like if you do it on purpose. Casemiro, a big international Champions League winner, right? You playing for Brazil, and it's like you get him on a penalty by. What going on? All the fellas really feel them fellas wrap it up and we know it's easier to sack the manager. We probably don't hear him talk that Ten Hag gone. You understand? So, what they're saying, what going on with this group of players? Why they're not responding to Ten Hag? What going on?
I mean, one word I'll use, professionalism. Like, if you have all these international, forget, we have injuries, but it's Coventry, the championship side. You have internationals starting for you. Internationals coming off the bench for you. You have is Eric Smith the captain of Denmark? No.
Yeah.
You have Ericsson. You have even Anthony was Brazil backup somewhere with I mean all these guys that I mean I don't care which player we had on the field. We shouldn't have given up a 3-goal lead. I mean that's and them fellas ain't professionals. Like it's just that word means a level of consistency and execution every single game. We don't get that with our team. We haven't got for a long time. We like I don't know if that word exists. I don't know what they do in Carrington. I don't know what they practice because it just goes out the window whenever they start playing. And like you look at shoot. I mean, you just wonder sometimes, like, shoot,
But my thing, right? Yeah. That's fair. I mean, everybody confusing us, Simeon, because it just not making no sense, right?
no
But the thing
sense.
about it is why I'm saying that, right? I mean, and I think we might be able to agree on this. From the time the players cross that white line, you have a certain responsibility to execute a game plan. No, there's me, and I know Chef had asked me if he's still Ten Hag in. I kind of in the middle because I conflicted, right? And the thing about it is, these players are not bad players. They're not good, but they're not bad. They're not as bad as we see it now. At least there's my belief. I know they're not at the level that required to take Man United back to the top, but they're not bad. And when you cross that white line, you have a responsibility, right, to preserve pride for that jersey you're wearing. How Phyllis put it, play for the badge, and people will know the name on the back, right? And to see this team capitulate game after game, because today is not the first time. That's why we're not surprised. It's just it getting worse now, right? But game after game, we've been seeing where you all going out there and getting dominated by everybody. And then when I listen to press conferences, I hear Ten Hag saying certain things, but I'm not seeing it on the pitch. So I'm asking if the manager is saying all your X, Y, Z, and these players don't care, and they say, well, hey, here what going on, Ten Hag, proof for you, We here, you gone. We could be here next season. All the thing them fellas really down tools by, and it's just a matter of time.
What I'm saying is that if they're down tools, then I think they're doing it to their own detriment. I think the only thing to that is maybe the habit of our contract. So like we could have seen that Rashford played for his contract. He did that. He got this bumper contract, and now Rashford don't even like he know how to play football at times, right? And to me, you saw it today looking at some of the directors or the people now who are the head of the club. So you saw Jim Ratcliffe today, and if it is that you sabotaging the club, right? And you have Ratcliffe and Brailsford and Wilcox and all whoever else. So then watching that, then to me, you're doing a disservice to yourself and to your contract. Because they've seen it. So when Ten Hag come and he say, here what? X, Y, and Z, they're not doing as they're supposed to. Then Brailsford could say, yeah, I agree with you because I have seen it on the pitch. I am seeing the effort you are giving. I am seeing what you are trying to do. And I am seeing what is going on the pitch. So to me, if they're down in tools, then they're doing it at their own risk. Because Brailsford and them just not coming and watching games. I show they in training sessions too. Because when a decision is to make on Ten Hag, that decision will be not decision based on games alone. Well, that's I would think. But overall, Ten Hag, when they pull Ten Hag check me in the office, this is how you let you go. X, Y, Z. And if the players don't tools, then I think they would back Ten Hag and eventually get rid of the players.
Now here we're going on because Reem said he is in the middle. I kind of in the middle as well too, and I'll tell you why. Let me stop talking about football and let me start talking about if we own a restaurant or if we could all of us like food. You are the head person of your restaurant, and you are telling your staff to cook food a specific way, to prepare food a specific way, and to leave the food on the grill or in the oven for a specific amount of time.
And I'm paying you for that.
And
you're well paid.
And exactly. And I'm telling you this week in, week out. Don't leave the food on the grill. Don't leave the food in the oven for more than an hour. I just call it a time, or else the food will burn. You as the restaurant owner, if your staff keeps on doing it and the customers and the clients keep on complaining, you could keep on hiring. You keep them same staff on your payroll.
That's
no, you're not.
Thank you.
No, you're not. You telling your staff week in, week out, prepare this set of food in a specific way. Don't leave this specific set of meat in the oven or on the grill over an hour, and leaving it on the grill and in the oven for 2 and 3 hours. What you could do? You can say, "Look, boss man, boss lady, I'm sorry. You gotta go. I gotta find somebody that can actually listen to me." And Ten Hag is not doing that. Ten Hag is coming into your restaurant every single day, telling certain players, "Don't overcook the meat." And when they get into the restaurant now, the meat getting overcooked all this time. And then they got some customers that can think this meat tastes real good. And they got some customers that say, "Yo, this meat tastes like ass." That is what Ten Hag is doing. Ten Hag has a specific set of instructions for these players. And the players are not listening to him. Hook them. Put on players that can start and listen to you. And that is why a lot of people are Ten Hag out. Because he does not have the cojones to tell the likes of Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro and some of these other players like Scott McTominay to listen to him. Hook
because
them.
you don't have a choice.
Hook them.
Nah.
Nico, don't go there.
Nah.
I was heading there now. I was heading there.
Don't go there.
No. Phil, I want Phil finish his point and then I go jumpy.
Don't go there, Nico, because at the end of the day, you have to have trust in the players that are on the bench. If the players that are in the starting 11 are not listening to me, I can find players that will listen to me. And if they don't listen, I go straight to the board and say, "Hey, these set of players ain't listening to me."
I tell the boy, I tell the Braves, one of them fellas not taking a hands-off approach. Them fellas taking a hands-on approach. Them seeing, them know. Some of the decision had to make is a holistic decision.
No, but hear what he's saying, right? And Chef, you're coming right after me.
Yeah.
I understand where Phil was going with that analogy, but it's not so straightforward in reality. No, I'm telling you, it's not so straightforward because the thing about it is you're talking about the ability to hire and fire at any point in time. When in truth and in fact, that is not the circumstance that you're in now.
I know, but take the hiring and firing out of it. I'm talking about putting these players on the bench.
On the
bench.
So here,
I'm not talking about cutting the contract. I just talk about putting on the bench.
And it's not so easy because you're dealing with a group of players, right, that have that kind of togetherness already. And you had to be so careful. But here what I'm saying, because this is a reality and all.
No, it's true. It's true.
You have to treat with these egos. No, listen to here what I'm saying, Chef. You have to treat with these egos real carefully. Because you mess with one head in that changing room, and you would lose the entire dressing room. So you had to be real guarded, because them fellas will lock you off, Dread, and they'll stop playing for you. So you have to keep them on side. No, but here what I'm saying, eh? Here what I'm saying, you ought to play them fellas, keep them on side until you're ready to make your move, right? And you have to be very strategic because them fellas and them will sabotage
Get rid of you, yes.
Exactly.
Get rid of
It is
before you
more
get rid of
economic.
them.
But here what I'm saying, let me make one last point.
Get rid of them.
Let me make one last point here.
But Riemann is a high 3-1 and we have to understand that.
Yeah, because here what he's saying, eh? The economics of getting rid of it is easier to get rid of a manager than get rid of than more than one than a whole team. It is easier. This is why time after time we've always seen the manager's head rolling and the same group of players doing the same thing over and over and getting managers fired. Right? So this is what I'm saying. You had to play the game. You had to bide your time. Right? And try to remain in your job as long as until they could get rid of the players who are the troublemakers. Because if after all this time you talking to these players and I'm seeing where I'm listening to, apart from the deluded comments he was making in his press conferences, I see that all of Ten Hag is trying to keep this dressing room on side until he get the opportunity to get rid of half, if not all of these clowns in this team. Right? Because these players have not been listening to Ten Hag. I have seen game after game, Casemiro, Bruno, launch balls forward. And then when he turned to his bench, it become Mount injured, right? Amrabat injured. Nobody know where Malacia is. You understand what I'm saying? So what options the man have? You want him to play the youths?
Yes.
They're ready for this level? They're not
Yes.
ready.
No, but then you
Yes.
They're not
end up
ready.
getting fired.
They're not ready.
You end up getting fired, and our
Lemon,
next coach will come and they will do the same thing.
Let me know when I could talk. Let me know when I could talk.
Give me 1 minute, Chef. I can pass over to you. Just to say a couple of things. Reem, it sounds like you're protecting a bunch of toxic players, 1. 2, this whole thing about you buying time, you can buy as much time as you want. But the board, is your time aligned with the board in terms of keeping you? You don't know that. You can tell yourself, look, man, let me buy time to the end of the season, or let me buy time to the January transfer market. That time the board could knock on your door 2 weeks from now and be like, look, things are working out. Thanks for your service. I know you upset saying, yo, shit, man, I should have benched this person, or I should have never started this person. I thought I could buy time until January transfer window. I thought I could buy time till summer transfer window. And lo and behold, the board say, you know what? Knock on door. Here's your compensation. Thanks, but no thanks. And you're gone. You're gone.
Most of the time, the board does do that is when the environment becomes toxic. And what Reem's saying is cannot trying to manage that. But anyway, go ahead.
Go ahead, Chef.
You see all this we talking here? You see all this effing? Because this is what it is, eh? It's a bunch of effing nonsense we talking here. Because let me tell you something. This does only happen at Manchester United. Players only does do that dotations at Manchester United. I want all you name any other club in the league could do that dotations. So here what? I'm not accepting that. I'm going back to Phil analogy, Jay. First thing first, if I am the executive chef and them working underneath me, I had to answer to the board, right? If them not, I give them, as always said, I give them a set instructions. Cook at this temperature, deliver at this. This is the plate, and they're not delivering. And I have to answer to the board. I don't have to answer to the players. I have to answer to the board. You know what I'm gonna do? I let in the board clearly know, listen, them not good enough, them not doing this. I am getting rid of, no, as you're right, police and Reem, I know, Reem and Nico, I totally get where all you're coming from, you know. But what I am saying is, you see, that what all you described there, that shit does only go on at United, dog.
But
So then, chef.
Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
So that it had to change. It had to change.
Agreed.
So my am saying And because all you tell me it can't happen, it could happen.
We not saying
Because
it can't happen.
I know when I tell the board, listen to me. Them players, certain men, and you call the names of them, you know. Because they declare ringleaders and they declare shit up. Because you know, one thing is consistent, a few of them they manager after manager after manager. So clearly them is a big part of the problem. Dan, I prefer to play them youth men. And I will hear and I must say to that point too, is a clear indicator. Every Ten Hag does only play the youth men when he had no choice. And you know what has happened? Let me look at the facts. Every single time he gave one of them youth men and them a proper chance, the men and them excelling though.
Yeah, but chef, let me just say something, right? Two things. One, with your same analogy, let me just say your executive who on top of you tell we, chef, here what's going on. We don't have no money in the budget again to bring in no more chefs. So you have to use them until such a time. Give you 6 months, but use them now. Right? But you have to keep them because you want them to spoil the food. Right? For the customers to complain about the restaurant, for the restaurant to lose business. So you have to find a way to keep them on side, even though they're doing shit. You know, you don't talk to your executive already, and you know at the end of the 6 month period, you're gonna get rid of these buggers. But because you don't want them to spoil the food that will tarnish your reputation and make the business lose customers, you have to keep them on side. And all I'm saying is this is probably what Ten Hag having to deal with. Because it's not as easy as just saying upstairs, hey, these players not doing what I want. And the upstairs will just say, well, okay, to hell with the rest of all here. It don't work like that.
I think we have to remember what he inherited. Let's remember what Ten Hag inherited. Ten Hag inherited the Glazers and them.
Let me be real. Can we do any worse?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, right, Chef? We're looking at isolated one-off instances where these youth players would have come in and performed to an acceptable standard. But when you want to throw a youth player into the mix to play big man football week in, week out, one, the body not ready for that kind of football, that kind of rigor. Two, teams will target them. Look at that game against Bournemouth. I don't know if I'll watch the game and see that Solanke targeted Kambwala, right? And he take advantage of Kambwala whole game. Although it's not as easy as just giving the youth a chance. We just talk about not putting too much pressure on young players and allowing them to develop properly. You have to phase them players in a setting that will allow them to grow and allow them to be better. You can't just try youth player into the deep and say, well, hey, sink or swim. We will criticize that. We criticize that so much times in the past. So all I'm saying, how teams do it, Chef, is when the whole team properly functioning, then you bring in a youth player. You know what I'm saying? We can't afford to bring in youth players just so for the sake of it. What I'm saying is Ten Hag hands tied in her. Because you said, Chef, it is a toxic, very annoying environment where player power still reigning at Manchester United. Right? Whether we want to accept it or not. And I am telling you see the likes of Bruno, Casemiro, Rashford, and there are some more. These fellas have a certain level of influence and power in that dressing room. And you go left at them fellas and them, and they will turn the entire dressing room against you and you'll lose the dressing room. What I'm saying is you have to be tactful, you have to be strategic. Keep them on side. You know, I usually tell them again, Phil, bide your time and hope, right? Hope that at some point you get your way and these players out.
But
and better time under this new regime.
But just as Phil said,
time unpredictable. Time is unpredictable.
It is, but it's a risk. It's a risk.
So you telling me that you willing to risk your own livelihood buying time, boy?
No one's risking his livelihood. He's not risking his livelihood.
As we said earlier, you know what's my problem? You know what's my problem with Ten Hag right now, though? I could not start on the shit he doing with them substitutions and them. But then, because God alone, I want Jesus come down and tell me why Marcus Rashford playing 90 minutes. So I can't.
We are saying Ten Hag innocent of everything.
That I can't understand that. nobody can, there's no way you could justify. You know what? What I'm personally mad at Ten Hag because I was on the Ten Hag train hard. Brother man, you start off by getting rid of arguably one of the best players of all time. You was ruthless with that. And Ronaldo is my player. And I did applaud Ten Hag for that. So Dan, you start off at them levels and you just cover them to these imps and them now, boy.
But you think so? You
Yes.
really think so? You really
Yes.
think you cover them?
Yes. Yes.
Again,
That's why I said.
again, I saying we have a new board. We put a new structure in place. If they want Ten Hag to lead the team, Ten Hag will be there, and they would be looking at it from at deep level in terms of training, in terms of games. I mean everything. They would be scrutinizing, and based on that, and I think they have enough time between when they came in to the next season or before to know if Ten Hag is the man that they want to lead the team.
And then back to one final thing. Back to what we said at the start with this whole line. Though men could justify environment, they could justify equality, whatever. But dog, at the end of the day, you are well paid horse. Boss, you get $350,000.
Exactly. So you feel the owners watching that.
You get $350,000 a week. I watch Casemiro, dog. Them wingers watch Casemiro as Sunday lunch not Sunday lunch, Sunday brunch. Because every time they see him, it was food. Casemiro running like with ups. I know my thinking is, all right, brother. You probably don't have the speed, but Dan, you're an international player. You're supposed to be able to use your brain a little bit and mark the man's side on. But dog, you just getting run on, and nothing changing.
To be honest,
let me just say one thing, and then we go to the next
point.
That's
it. Because for me, because what's our next point? Because
because the thing about it is this, and I want to make this point, and then we go move on, right? Every single team, right? And it's only as we were talking, it occurred to me. Every single team where a manager has been sacked, look at the team that he met and the team that he played. Even when things were going downhill, the manager never made significant changes to the 11 that he was using. Because a manager understands the hierarchy and players that's at the club and the power players whole. Now, it higher amplified at Manchester United because who we are. But this thing happens at other clubs as well. When Mourinho was there, when Conte was there, and all these managers were fired because the team wasn't performing, how drastically did the teams change even though the team wasn't performing at the level that the manager wanted? It was the same team the manager kept playing. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as easy as just saying drop the players and bring in these players to play because the senior players not doing what you want. It's hard. It's much more complicated and complex than that, and that is all I'm saying. Right? I know all the fellas, they do all the research, Phil, Chef, I'll check it back. Go back to when Mourinho lost his work. Go back to when Conte lost his work. Go back to when Marco Silva lost his work. Tuchel. Look at the difference. Tell me if at the point when the team started performing poorly, tell me if there was any significant change in the team selections.
But so you're saying that since there was no significant changes, that's why the manager was sacked then, right?
Because the performances were poor, and the manager didn't make a drastic change and say, well, you know what, I'm not playing with all the senior players, I'm going to play with youth players.
But
that's the point I'm making.
But you're not proving my point, Reem.
But that's the point. But that's what I'm saying, because you're saying if these players not performing, right, then drop them. But what I'm saying is it's not that easy, because if that was the case, then all the other managers would have lost their jobs in the past, right? Now, the case at different clubs may not be the same case at Manchester United, but the point I'm making is that If that was an option, a valid option, then many managers who would have lost their job before would have changed the squad drastically and perhaps may have still been there. Right
But
or not? You know what I'm saying? So it's not as easy as just saying, well, hey, bah, and I'm moving with a new different 11 and to hell with the senior players.
well, like it goes back to the type of coach. I mean, in the real world, yes, Curry. I mean, in the real world, even in food industry, you have to worry about team dynamics. In the real world, you have to worry about you don't want to mess up the whole work chemistry and stuff. But like, if you're a manager and you believe in what you're doing, and you believe you could train people to do the things you want to do, you have no issue getting rid of somebody and bringing in somebody else. But the issue with football is bringing in do you have the people there to work with? Like, if you're confident in yourself and your system, you have no issue, and you have people available to youth players there or guys on the bench to bring on that you can work with, fine. But if you're a player dependent coach, like it seems we have now, I feel like when we got Ten Hag, we expect somebody that could work like a coach. He could coach players up, and get system in. I have guys playing better, but make changes, do stuff, new players come in and let's coach them up. Have young players come in, coach them up. You don't want your coach to be beholden to all these players, but like the thing with Ten Hag is it seems like he's not with the whole Rashford thing. Like, the man will get support. When you brought him in, your whole thing was, oh, I gonna make Rashford, come back to his prime. That was your thing, and now it's like. Now it's time for a change. I mean, what if we can't do it? Like we have players on the bench. Like that's the one position we have options. That's to make things look so bad. We have options. They might be great options, but we have options. Garnacho plays on the left. We move Garnacho for the most part from the left to the right. To worry about Rashford. I just feel like the whole question about Ten Hag is, he's just trying to buy time, until we get that change. But like, are we sure we're going to have to see that change come summertime? I mean, the Radcliffe already said, it's going to take time. We can't just make the kind of changes we want to take. It's going to take time for this thing to move. So are we sure come summertime that Ten Hag is going to have the balls to make the kind of changes, the kind of decisions that we want them to make? The issue is that's my thing. It's like we assume he's going to bring in new players. He's going to send Rashford, send Bruno. But I'm not sure if he is going to do that. Like I, right now at this point in a season where the same players are playing, and we can't make any tactical changes or anything. It's just like I'm not sure how much he's bought into the whole change issue. And as far as catering to the players, and making sure they feel okay, I mean, to see his job, any manager knows you can only do it so long before your time is up. There's only so much time you have before, them fellas stop respecting you. And the players that actually working for you stop respecting you. So instead of, having, half a team, we have no team because the players that you cater for don't respect you anymore. And players that, that cater for you don't respect you anymore because they see everybody else getting away with the nonsense they're doing. Look at Garnacho. I have many issues with Garnacho, but the man is play. The man is run hard. Like, why is always Garnacho getting subbed off? Like, you can lose. My thing is, you can lose the dressing room more than one way. You worry about Rashford and you lose Garnacho. You worry about Casemiro, you lose Menu. it's hard to keep that balance going. So I mean, yeah.
You can always predict a Ten Hag substitution. Kobe Manu off, Garnacho off, Hoyland off. Not today.
But today that was a justified sub because you can look at it both ways, right? Because you're leading 3-0, you could be seeing Garnacho as one of your main players you need to keep fit. So Garnacho is one of my main players. I wanna preserve him, right? So you can look at it that way as well.
We have a game Wednesday.
No.
You're probably done.
No. Garnacho young. Garnacho
young.
young. Pull Rashford off.
No.
But remember,
He's a young player as well.
Yeah, Garnacho played the most minutes so far, Simeon.
Yeah. Meno same thing. Watch more minutes Meno players are now turn 19-year-old. Those substitutions to me leading 3-0 is justified. I would not blame the coach for that.
And then too, Nico, we can add on
Only in
that.
hindsight you could do that.
Yeah. And I can add to that too, Nico. To the you're saying if this one is working and that one is working, then it have these options. But then you bring on Anthony and you bring on Ericsson and look at how the team fall. So you're asking for the manager to drop certain players, but when he used the others who you all say he should, look at how we fall.
But
True.
So I'm saying, and the thing about it,
you can't use this one match as the as the stick, because look at how we bring on Anthony and Ahmad versus Liverpool, and they made a difference. Look how we played Kwambala versus Liverpool, and he was good. So to go from praising Anthony and Kwambala in the Liverpool fixture to now 2 or 3 weeks later now saying that they didn't do well with Anthony, you can't just go like that, because now it be
right. Exactly. So this is why you need to keep the players on side. You need to use your senior players as well as your bench. But you see, you have to know the temperament of your players. And Fergie does always talk about man management. It's because he knew he could have gone and slag off Cantona, but he understood that you have to keep players on side. You have to know how to treat with certain players. So Ten Hag probably already figure out in the dressing room who are the influential players, and he telling himself, well, listen, they may not be doing what I want, but for the time being, I need to keep them on side. And this is all I'm saying, right? Now, do I agree with everything Ten Hag doing? Of course not. But I am trying to see, in my mind, I'm trying to make this thing make sense, because I'm hearing and I'm seeing certain things that the manager's saying, but I'm not seeing it on the pitch. And he keep repeating it every press conference, but yet I'm not seeing it on the pitch. Last podcast, we were talking about Ten Hag telling them, calm the ball. And right after he do that, Casemiro launch a ball and we lost it. Something not happening. So, I know Ten Hag, between a rock and a hard place, trying to keep players on side who not following his instructions, and he just had to buy this time. If he gets sacked, he gets sacked, right?
And Karim, you have a point. Something definitely wrong at his club, and trying to figure out what it is behind the scenes. You lose your mind trying to figure out what it is behind the scenes in the dressing room. That's wrong. Can you look at Ten Hag before he came here? Brilliant coach. And some of these players, by themselves, before they came here, good players, by themselves, they go somewhere else. These are, for the most part, good players, But you bring them here, you bring them to Manchester, you bring them to Old Trafford, and like something happens in that place, and you put them all together. Yes, I can't believe what he's doing.
Chef, what play?
Let me get to the comments. Let me get the comments. And this is saying here, after the Chelsea game, the writing was on the wall for Ten Hag. All right, could say here Rashford like he forget how to dribble past men. Man's focus not there. Why? Christian saying he had self-sabotage. It's clear to see. To be honest, Dalot, Bruno Maguire, only senior players who probably still playing for the manager. All right. Adrian saying here, I don't care, even though we won eventually. Ten Hag had a go. All right. Christopher on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying weak mentality, full caps, no doubt. Fully agreed. Kurt saying here, Christopher, and I'm sure if them under 18s had played today, we would have seen a better performance. One-off performances, of course, we would have seen a better performance. But we play them 2-3 games and they go see the drop off.
before you think though, and this is why I get why men consider in the middle when it comes to who really to blame between the players and the manager, because boy, sometimes you just feel that it's equal blame to share. But Dan, I just
I think I think you gotta put the environment in that as well.
I just don't get it how players could be so mentally mm, just we just not like Dan. Our decision was I watched Anthony today and I said, but this is not the same player we was praising a couple games ago, boy. And you just revert back to the same shit you was playing, dog. Your decision making just going in the labas.
Yeah, boy.
Boy, that I like Manchester.
I
Wait.
don't know. Anderson saying here, I said on Friday to our partner, I won't be surprised if they lost. And he's talking about the game today. Right? Joey saying here, if it was up to me, I'd pay off all them players who I cannot get a sale for and release them and start over from scratch, yes? Right?
If only it was that easy.
If only it was that easy.
I don't disagree with you. I told you.
Christian saying here, but I honestly think Ten Hag should get the remaining year of his contract. We need to take time and choose a correct manager, not just a top manager who are available. What is one more year of pain?
What is
But only would have made good slaves, you know. The man said, what is one more year of pain, you know?
He start good.
Something wrong with me. Okay, you know what? Something wrong with friggin' me. Because
No.
like that, all this young person, I tell literally an hour ago, I tell my girl, I too effing deep in this, you know. Because no bunch of man running down a ball supposed to have me feeling so. Something has to be wrong with me. Something wrong with me. And no matter how much I tell myself, Dan,
you give them a rest.
Give them a rest. Don't and it'll be like, dog, all you know something, half the times where I just getting games most of the time. In the car when I on deliveries, you know. I just be watching when I supposed to be dropping people food and focusing on the road. I studied Totish Manchester United, you know.
One more European Christian.
The man said, "Where's one more European?
You can take my place on this podcast then.
I ain't going to. He was going good on everything you say up until available.
The man said, "Where's one more European? You know, only wicked boy."
It's going to be an extra piece.
Yeah.
No, I think they're putting the puzzles together. No, they're putting the puzzles together earlier, and decisions will be made.
And I think from what we see in US doing in terms of the upstairs, how they're moving ruthless upstairs, they're clearing out and they're bringing in.
Yeah.
You know, they're showing me some, my confidence building up.
And that's why I say we had to include the environment. Other than the manager and the players, we have to include the environment in that as well.
Yeah. Ratcliffe going and run a whole marathon today. And then come and sit and watch his shit. And must be saying the best I did go.
Now can I get to talk what's in that game today?
Boy, I watch Ratcliffe must be saying, but boy, I run a whole marathon to sit down in my box and watch this shit, boy. Best I did go home.
Yeah.
Nah, boy, that was torment, boy.
Yeah. That was crazy.
I tell you, if you lost that game today, I feel that was the answer.
Done. Yeah. No, seriously.
As much as you be hoping that, things happening behind
I was
the scenes,
so sure he was getting sacked. I was willing to bet anybody once that game that we lost today, by tomorrow, Ten Hag get fired.
I feel so. He might have like Xavi and, and say, yeah, what? That is it. Yeah, this season, I gone. Yeah.
But I see a partner of mine say, Ten Hag, just resign and done now.
No, that's it. We have a bigger plan. We have a bigger plan happening in the background.
Man, when I know resign and done just so I give up that money.
No, I don't think it's the money alone, man. I mean, them fellas don't think they're different.
Let me just get through the rest of the comments, guys, right? Guys, don't forget to like and share, right? We only have 5 and we have like 20 watching, so let me get the likes up now, guys. I appreciate it. Jody's saying here, year in, year out, it's the same performance we're getting from them. Yeah. Because I'm saying I watched some YouTube videos with Ten Hag Ajax, his Man United team. At Ajax, you would see cohesion, players following his plans. At United, Bruno, Højlund pressure and Rashford walking. But however, he keeps picking them. Right? Anderson saying here, my question is with all the injuries, why haven't we integrated more young players from the beginning of the season? All right, Christian saying here, and the reason I think he keeps picking Rashford is because he is the man who gives Rashford that new big contract, so you have no other choice. All right.
But we sure he's the man who gives Rashford that new big contract?
He would have made the recommendation.
Yeah, Keaton on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying, well, Reman Nico, if I am Ten Hag and can't bench big egos in that squad, best you fire me.
Thank
If
you.
you don't put your foot down as the manager, then nothing will change.
That's all I said.
It's so easy and nice to type it and put it out there.
Exactly. It's very nice to type it.
So we manager,
Yeah,
very
so
nice.
we manager can't have no balls then.
It's not
No,
that. It's not that.
he had to be strategic,
Yeah.
chef.
So what more strategic?
I think it's a bigger plan. I think it's a bigger plan.
To a warrior, just like that man who now say, was that next year paid, you know, like, well, they don't like me at all, boy.
It can't be so bad that Ten Hag not see what everybody see, because even when Ten Hag came, we used to say Ten Hag seen it how we seen it.
Exactly.
And I don't think that changed. That changed, but he has to do it in a strategic way.
That's Jody comment right there.
Yeah. Jody saying here, Ream 20 terms, played that to catch Kobo alive.
I guess.
Yes, that's what we saying. That's what we saying.
Ream, back in the day when Sir Alex Ferguson bringing in youth like Butt Paul, Scholes, Becks, Neville, the Neville brothers, Giggs, a lot of people were kicking brass. And well, we all know how it turned out for the club, so I don't see why Ten Hag. Oh yeah, it's different. We're talking about generational talent versus players who have proven them to the squad.
I know, and then Fergie with a high mileage.
Yeah.
But Dan,
and not only that, in Nico, the players that he had at that point in time was good players.
But Dan, at that time, let me be real, Reem. At that time, he could have never known them fellas would have been generational players. Mind you, Nicky Butt was never no blasted generational player. So but I digress.
He came with a group
but I digress.
But you know what?
All I'm saying though, Reem and Nico, I get what you're saying. All I am saying, Dan, is just like what Jody say. Dog, you don't have nothing to lose. All you're telling me that it have a core group of players, blah blah blah.
No, we're not saying it.
They do
it's an assumption, Chef. It's an assumption because that's the only sense that we could come up to.
Correct. Let me see what's going on with the comments, guys. And I'm glad that the panel representing different views. You know, it'll be boring when everybody had the same view, right?
How to be.
Yeah. Christopher saying, unfortunately, economics plays a role. Right? A manager cannot keep the biggest earners on the bench. The board will not accept that. They will give directions for him to find a way to get them playing. That's also a factor, right? We could complain how much we want these things happen earlier.
But at other clubs, there is bench big players, dog. There is replace big players. If you're not performing at other clubs, no matter who you is, don't you get replaced? Don't you get benched?
They'll get rid of the manager.
This is exactly. They'll get a manager to get the player playing.
Yes.
Alan saying here, I agree with Chef because Ten Hag has made the same substitutions every game and we lost, and he did the same thing today by removing Garnacho and Beno around the same time. We were leading 3-0. 70th minutes. How that is bad substitutions? I don't understand.
You know why it's bad substitutions? Because we effing shit.
Hindsight. Because it's bad substitutions because of hindsight.
So we being up 3-0 account for nothing. Like seriously, dog. I don't understand how we could blame Ten Hag for making 2 substitutions at 3-0 at 70th minute. because of
hindsight
the
talking here.
type of team, because of the
That's
type of team he
hindsight.
have.
And then we just blame Ten Hag for not making subs.
I don't blame him for that.
We can't use that. I mean, Aramba, I mean, it's hard because like normally we have for the last few games we had Mount at Arambat on the bench, you know, and we had options, and he did make subs, and that's the issue, because we had good options on the bench or decent options on the bench, and we didn't use it. But today, for some reason, you know, I ain't blaming Ten Hag. I can't blame
But
Ten
Simeon as Ericsson and Anthony he bring on. Those are not bad. We look at hindsight and saying, well, they came on and they performed poorly. That is why it's a bad sub. But Anthony, up to before, people were saying Anthony should have started instead of Rashford. Right? And everybody asking why Ericsson are getting more minutes. So hindsight playing a big part in while we criticizing the substitutions, but we're saying he's supposed to use his squad. Those
for me, it's more. I more have a problem with who he left on than who he brought on. That's my. I'm being honest. For me,
I think
who he brought on
as well, eh?
is not hindsight. Marcus Rashford has been garbage for nearly an entire season. So it's not hindsight. He has consistently been bad. Let me be real, dog.
I mean,
and something we get sidetracked with again, because I realize nobody had mentioned it. Dog, Scott McTominay might have scored today, but he served no effing purpose at all, At all.
Something we have been singing week in, week out.
I swear, when I saw the team squad, I said, okay, Scott gonna play centre back.
Jeez.
When I see we put Casemiro to play centre back and leave Scott in that midfield.
No, better we play Casemiro centre back because he can't run in the midfield. It's better he play centre back.
He can't run in defense side.
Let me just get Simeon point before I go back to the comments. Simeon is gonna make a point.
No, I mean, like, that's like we could go back to every decision. It's not just, it's like we keep going back. It's like when you have choices, he don't make them. Like when you have Mount finally healthy, you don't use him. You have number 7.
We sure that.
No,
like
but you see,
Mount
exactly, because look, Mount injured again. So he knew that Mount wasn't fully ready to start games.
Yeah.
Know that? Yeah.
No,
you know that?
No, but look at it. He injured in a day.
Yeah.
Oh,
but we could have seen that earlier. But we could have seen that Mount wasn't ready to start all game.
Whoever went to the top of Mount Hololo and put this jumpy on my club, oh God, it's time to release it to them.
No, but here I said, right?
But
here I said, right, earlier, and I just want to underline this again, right? I am not saying that I agree with everything Ten Hag doing because I've come here before and I've criticized Ten Hag heavily. But when I see, right, these players doing the same thing to every single manager, I had to question these players and I had to try to understand the situation that the manager finding himself in, right? Anyway, let me just get the comments quickly, right? Christopher saying here he think the board happy that a huge owner like Sancho not playing for the club and they still putting out money for his salary, right? Kristen saying here, Chef.
But the back but the back Ten Hag with a decision, eh?
Yeah. Chef, when Jesus will give you the answers to why Rashford played 90 minutes, you go let me know. Right? Ethan Lynch on the inside, good night to you, buddy. Blessings and love. Yeah, man, thanks for joining. Eric Lewis saying here, if we are using the analogy of chefs in the restaurant with Ten Hag being the head chef, the players aren't the greatest cooks, but the head chef is not giving them the recipe. Right, so that's to support. That is more to support all your pointing.
Yeah. So, no. He's saying that the head chef Ten Hag isn't saying any instructions to the chefs. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, which supporting your point, right?
No. My point and Chef's point was that Ten Hag is giving instructions and the players aren't listening to him.
Okay.
I'm assuming that Eric Lewis is saying that the head chef is not giving any instructions. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Okay.
He just hiring and hope for the best.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. I'm Mickey on the inside. Blessings, man. Thanks for joining.
Oh, Mickey.
Yeah, he's saying congratulations to the win team. Just one question. If you guys know or understand, what was the plan in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the game and after, still leading through to the last few minutes because I was totally lost. All right.
We don't have a plan. We's a counter
I
attack
don't know,
team.
but it's
That we
real
plan.
confusing. I don't know. No, to
That
be
we
honest,
plan.
and that's my biggest criticism to Ten Hag. I don't know what we playing. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
we
And
don't.
then when you have clueless men like Scott McTominay in midfield, that make it look even worse.
yeah. Eric saying here, I would sack Ten Hag and bring in an interim or do like what Bayern and Barca do. All right. Ethan saying a rough day on my eyesight.
Eyesight
Yeah.
alone, when you get through.
Yeah.
Just your
Bayern,
eyesight.
yeah. Bayern and Barca don't announce Ten Hag will be gone at the end of the season. All right. Ethan saying here, equal blame, decision making so poor, especially in the final third. Yeah. Mylon saying here, one more year of pain, he made my night. Bye, Crystal.
Man, he
Uh,
made my night, you know. He made my belly hurt me, yes.
Crystal saying here, Ten Hag making the club the wrong subs. How are you taking out Garnacho and Rashford remaining on the pitch? They'll only come on because Rashford start to limp. All right.
Russia don't realize it, but me go down this penalty, put down the extra time rule, this penalty thing, I'm gonna take and pull up. I killing all your Rashford
Those are saying self-sabotage.
fake.
Sabotage, I was saying. Kaden saying here, Riemann Nichols, so when Ten Hag had Sancho far away from the team, why the board didn't tell him Sancho on big way just sort out the matters between the two and start playing him? Or they don't do me that.
Maybe he did that and he put on his foot. Maybe they did
Listen,
that
man.
and he put on his foot. And he
Manchester
said no.
United, I realized
no.
too, Manchester United fans, good black jacket, white jacket, you know. Because, and I will say this, you will swear Sancho going Dortmund and doing so good, you know.
Nah, he doing well. He doing well.
He doing
well.
bad.
Come
What?
on.
He
He
doing
doing
bad.
bad. He doing
Nah,
bad.
But he had to
nah,
humble,
no,
he had to humble himself.
no,
He had to humble
Nico.
He's not doing bad, chef.
Nico,
Chef, I'm watching the others. Watch Dortmund.
Sancho out of 10 games, Sancho must be playing good twice.
Nah.
Don't do
you-
that.
What
Don't
all
do
you?
that.
Are you watching Dortmund play? All that crazy.
I don't
No,
comment on that.
chef. No,
Dad,
chef. I
I'm
watching
taking
every
Dortmund games
game.
just and hush, right as you say. I man don't like to just talk on things if I don't know nothing I just hush. And make sure I'm watching Dortmund just to see what Sancho doing, you know. Dog, Sancho, you see that game midweek here? Was Sancho probably Sancho best game since he went back to Dortmund.
Hell, nah. Anyway. All right. I think Sancho doing well. You know.
Black
I don't
jacket, white
I
jacket.
don't know if we're carrying across the hero ball mentality into watching Dortmund. That is a very, very team game. They just play a real team game. So
Yeah, they do.
you just rarely see like individuals standing out with that Dortmund team. They just play a real team game. Right?
Yeah, they do.
But teachers will. Right? Jody saying here, what I'm saying about the younger players is that the senior ones giving you the same performance week in, week out, except for one-off games where they play well. And I could check that on one hand, where we had 85% performance. All
Yeah.
right? Eric saying here, Salah, De Bruyne, Modric, etc. get bench. Why Rashford can't hold bench?
Thank
Right.
you.
And
And all them names is leaders in the teams.
Yeah, Jody saying here, keep in mind, fellas, my opinion is based on the season thus far, not just today's game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey saying here, could never be counter-attack because they don't. They get the ball, reach center field,
Yeah, boy. Oh
and
my
goes back to the
goodness.
goalkeeper.
Ooh,
No
today
floating
I was
counter.
frustrating looking at them, boy. Oh my
And
goodness.
Rashford
Reem,
was
you remember there was a game, can't remember which, where there was doing that, and we watched them, and two of us was talking, we were saying, you know what? The manager in the game pretty decent today. But dog, I realized that was pie in the sky, you know. Because we have absolutely no kind of thinking when we get the ball. I see Marcus get the ball today. Us, and it was literally, if you had keep on pushing it, it was a counter attack. And this ninja, because I don't want to say the word I want to really call him. This ninja stopped the whole counter and
Because-
passed back the ball, you know.
Bruno did that in the middle of the field too? You didn't
Yes,
see Bruno in the middle of the
boy.
field today?
Dog, I was like, what?
And that's the low IQ that we had to be dealing with and Ten Hag had to be dealing with. You understand? You trying to manage a game but you kill a counter. Judgment.
Dog, and you know what's making it worse? When I sit up yesterday and watching Doku get a ball and it's only fire, you know.
Yeah, he going at men. Anderson saying here, Sancho is doing okay at Dortmund. He ain't lighting the world on fire.
Correct,
But it doesn't
Thank you, Anderson.
But I never say he was lighting the world on fire. I think he was doing well. Right? But you say he played 2
He
good
ain't doing
games, Chef.
well.
That's right.
We taking that well either.
All right.
He's doing okay.
All right. But it doesn't matter. No excuse for indiscipline.
Correct.
All right. Jody saying here, but Ten Hag gives Sancho his props at Dortmund, but also said that that's not the problem between them. Yes, correct. Yeah, Mickey saying exactly, Chef, with the counter thing, right? Anderson correct himself. He said not well, but okay. Right? So, fellas, before we wrap it up, I just want to go on one thing, right? And it's the inconsistencies of VAR. Because,
God.
I really, I don't know how many of you all would have seen the City-Chelsea game yesterday. And
Listen.
Chelsea were not given a blatant penalty, right? I mean, Chelsea wasn't given a blatant penalty. And for the same thing that was waved away by VAR yesterday, they give a penalty today. Because as far as I'm concerned, there was no difference between Grealish situation and the Wan-Bissaka situation. So, fellas, I really need to know whether it's our agenda for City, well, our favoritism for City and our agenda against Man United, because I can't understand that if they're consistent, then this game should have been won in 90 minutes. You understand? Because that was never a penalty. It's either you give the penalty yesterday and give it today, or you don't give the penalty yesterday and you don't give it today. I don't understand. Because it's so bad that even Nottingham Forest with that game with Everton, I didn't see the game, but I heard had some big thing with VAR and
Yes, it did.
and all kind of thing.
Dan, I have been saying all season, VAR in the English FA, in the English league, and when I say league, I mean all the leagues, is the absolute worst. There's absolutely no consistency. No, and here's the thing, I just never want, as I always say, I don't use decisions as an excuse, because I honestly believe sometimes you get some, sometimes you don't. But you bring VAR to narrow down that, the balance, and it's like you just get worse. I hate Chelsea. I don't like Chelsea at all. I can't stand half of the fans on them because there's a set of dummies who know nothing about football. They just like to talk. But you see that yesterday? God, that was too much, boy. How them could have watched it and say no penalty?
But I don't know all, yeah? But for some reason, I think we had to rewire our brains, right? Because VAR is not an AI that's making decisions.
True.
VAR is the same men
Same
who
human.
does the referee on the field and be making subjective decisions is who making the same decision up in our boots. And we in football too
With the
long.
benefit of slow motion.
That ain't nothing.
And different angles.
And then to what you have to take into consideration is that the on-field referee decision, it had to be something, that he clearly missed for VAR to change the decision. So if it is that, because again, refereeing is very subjective. So if the referee on the field made a decision, then had to be something totally different for VAR to change the decision. Otherwise, they will not stick with the referee on-field decision. So if the referee say today penalty, unless it had something way different, would have changed it. If the referee yesterday say no penalty, then unless it's something way different, then they will not change it. Because refereeing is very subjective. And VAR is not an AI. You know, and the
I
same
always tell
referee.
people, I always give this solution the same way players and managers have to give post match commentary or post match reviews. Make the referees do it as well too. Put them on the spot because
I feel so.
you know a game is terrible when most of the fans are talking about the referee. They could be talking about the result. They could be talking about how a player scored a screamer or how somebody made a goal line clearance. But you know a match had terrible refereeing when that's all the fans can talk about. Not just some, not a little bit, not just most. All of the fans are talking about it. I say this again, make the referees and the officials give post match comments, just like the players, just like the manager.
But I must say
But
something, right?
I go justify the decision.
Yeah. But I must say something, eh? Nico, how does precedent, come into play where referees are concerned? Because I'm sure referees look at games, right? So I'm certain that they would have looked at the game yesterday, right, with Chelsea versus City, and they would have seen the call, and in a bid to remain consistent, because we gain one referee making a bad call, then our next referee making a good call, then our next referee making a bad call, and then our next referee making a good call. So this is why we're crying for consistency. So what I'm saying is, where does precedent play a part in this? So okay, so they watched the game yesterday, and all right. So they didn't give him it. Now today, to me, the hand Wan-Bissaka wasn't blatantly out, but and they gave it. So where does reference and precedent come into play? Because it's the same semi-final. It costing a team.
But Coventry going and say it was a penalty, and they going and say it was a good penalty. Coventry
But what I'm saying is what I'm saying is precedent.
That that was a good penalty. United fans will say it was not a good penalty. So the line's so thin and it's so subjective that is, we had to accept that. We had to accept poor decisions as part of the game. And that's what adds to the whole spectacle of football, and we have to accept that.
But you know something earlier?
Because we go fighting against the referees for the rest of our life.
No, but you understand? Football is the only sport that bring in a review system, if you want to call it that. But we don't hear what's going on. Dan, basketball, NFL, crickets. Whenever they're going to review it, you don't actually hear what's going on up there for everybody to hear. And then not only that, the referees just had to come in the moment and explain the decision, Them to just make a decision, And then after we go talk about it.
I think I read it. I don't know how true it is. I don't know if Phil might be able to beam out on this. But I think they want to test that way of saying in some league next season. I think I hear it. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So you have to explain them this. That's why them NBA and even in cricket, to just take the time and make them decisions though, because I have to come on a mic and explain. And if you come on a mic and talk dotishes, that you walk.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent.
I think referees have to become more accountable now, because I find too much inconsistency and them getting away scotch-free. You'll just hear this referee getting moved
Reem, I remember the start of the season, Reem tell me the on me case, and I said, God, Reem, now, don't do me that. But I have to agree with Reem now.
But since Fergie leave, right? We know that. We know that since Fergie leave, that they have an agenda against us, but we had to live with that all year. To me, it's part and parcel of the game. So I'd be surprised when they make a terrible decision. When VAR come up, I don't expect anything, to be honest.
I surprised we get an offside call, but I feel
Exactly,
I just feel they realize that penalty was shit, so they say not let me get him it.
No, and next VAR all year, would I get us a goal? Another VAR would I go because it's
that was real. That was real. That line was real.
Actually, another VAR would give us a goal.
Yeah.
That point Christopher make here is a great point.
Yeah, he's saying here, I will answer Chef's question about why it don't happen at other clubs because other clubs can actually sell their players. It's not about benching. You have to sell them and get rid of the problem. At Coventry, we can't sell nobody.
So
The
we getting a
CEO,
big bumper contract.
yeah, the CEO and the company gave ridiculous contracts and paid
Exactly.
ridiculous money.
Exactly.
Yeah, look, who gonna take Rashford if PSG away again?
Yeah. Who gonna take Anthony?
Yeah,
At
When they
three
get rid of
at three
Anthony, who
at
gonna
three
take
fifty a
Anthony?
week.
Eh?
exactly. And here gonna take no less money, eh? So,
Maguire,
Joyce,
Then
Casemiro. Who else?
the here take a whole season off because nobody had paid him that money, you know.
Exactly.
That's
So he
what
gets
United created, you
no,
know.
we
if he
spoiling
gets
men.
sweet, he
Yeah.
gets sweet at United.
That
So
man take a
anything else?
whole season and men want to tell me they just want to rest. I said, dog,
No,
no
because
player doesn't want to. What does just he talk about? He just want to rest.
right?
What
Yeah.
man,
If he
dog,
was
as a
if he was
footballer,
getting
you only have a certain amount of time, you know.
yeah, if he gets 50,000 pounds a week, you feel he'd be resting?
He
Correct.
refused.
Yeah.
The here does
He was
not
gonna
want
make
to
that money.
take less money.
Even if he had to come play with Joe Public, he was coming
No,
to
I'm
for that
telling
money.
you,
Yeah.
spoiling
Jody,
players.
yeah, Jody saying here, fellas, on a different note, are they heading Legends game?
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, thinking about it.
If we can make a alignment for Liverpool. I want to.
Yeah. Christopher saying here, the English FA are retarded, right? How can you mess up VAR? Right. Another
Because
example
it's
is
human beings.
them adopting the extended added on time that was failure at the World Cup. Them stupid bad. Alright. Arthava, thanks for joining, man. He's saying rather than most post-match
That's right.
conference,
This
we
is
should
my
mic up
point.
every referee.
Correct.
Yeah.
And explain yourself. That is what you're supposed to do, not post match.
Yeah. Joey saying here how to leave the hair alone, the man chillax. Yeah. So fellas, I mean, we look to wrap it, right? We have done human service this evening, especially after watching that kind of game. Right? So guys, closing thoughts, we playing Sheffield United at home, and somebody post on social media and say this game will be the most shots conceded derby.
You got a good point there, boy.
Actually, it had no defending in that game at all.
Yeah.
It's
like
who could score more.
It's the two easiest teams to play against in the entire league played against each other. So this could be something real. This could be a spectacle. Anyway, fellas, like some closing thoughts, let me wrap it.
Boy, this week, if you're a neutral in football, this week has been sensational. From the Champions League,
Yes.
Yeah.
to the Europa League.
Nice hate watching.
I was doing an up along at work, boy, and I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this week football was nice.
Even with regards to Garnacho getting hooked and going on social media, everything this week has been sensational. But if you had to reel yourself back in and be a Manchester United fan, boy, today was absolute horseshit, boy. But yeah, tonight was a good discussion, and as Reem said, it's a good thing that all of us have a difference of opinions, because if all of us had the same opinions, it'll be boring. The podcast will be done in 15 minutes. So
Correct.
anyway, those are my closing thoughts.
Yeah, man.
I wonder how much we could give Chelsea. I wonder if we could wrap up Anthony, Sancho, and maybe Scott McTominay in our package and give Chelsea for Cole Palmer, boy. I swear.
No, we could give him Rashford too. You put Rashford on the list?
For Rashford. Taking Cole Palmer.
If we give it that Rashford, who we taking from Chelsea?
Now we have to take Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer.
Not Nicholas Jackson.
No.
Not Nicholas Jackson.
We don't want that.
I'm sorry I make that joke now. Oh gosh, sure.
Nicholas Jackson and VAR mess up Chelsea yesterday by big time.
Man, if all you're frustrated with Rashford, Nicholas Jackson might make me pull out the hair. Don't have you know.
Nah, here what going on. He have he and Maguire had the same kind of stupid face when they do crap. You know?
Dan, that youth.
Hey.
That
Well,
youth
he's a criminal, boy.
real hot and cool and more cold and hot, boy. Jeez. And he has speed like that, eh? But Lord Father. Oof.
Well, for me, if we had lost that game today earlier, I was like, I needed, not going in, I needed a sabbatical for Manchester United for the rest of the season. That's what I was feeling. If we lost that game today earlier, that was the end of that, you know. Because, right? Nah, boy, I'm not even working on it. It's like too much, boy. As Chef says, sometimes you feel like we ain't too deep now.
Yeah, boy.
You know, and so I had to unplug, you know? I had to pull that plug and say, hey,
Disconnect.
I need a detox.
Yeah,
I need
boy.
a detox. Right? We might get a little cold turkey in between. But, Chad, I was willing to go through that, you know, because, boy, oh my. But anyway, you know what I mean? We scraped through. I'm still grateful for the scraping through. As Simeon was saying earlier, you know, as much as you can say, boy, you know, but Coventry did win. I'm still grateful for the scrape through. And I look forward to Wednesday, man.
You looking forward to Wednesday?
Yeah. I mean,
You looking
I hope- I don't know,
forward?
but-
You looking forward to the match on Wednesday, or you looking forward to the podcast on Wednesday?
Well, both. You know, but again, I went into this game with so low expectations. I went into it with real low expectations. But the problem is, when it went 3-up, I said, boy, you know, I relax now. And then bang, they put me right back. Right?
Any always these two who play centre back today. That means the same two when I play Wednesday.
We don't know yet.
Hey, chef. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, it can get worse. Like with us, you don't know who be out next game. And Maguire could pull a groin. I mean,
For
my
real.
thing with us is
For real.
no matter if the team healthy or the team injured, you don't know what kind of performance you get.
So I know.
And plus you don't know who will play. So you never know.
Scott and Rashford injured as well too. You know, just to let you guys know.
What is that?
Scott and Rashford injured.
Rashford fake that one, boy.
Well, yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
We
That's okay.
might not see him for the rest of the
Let
season.
rest the injury.
I don't mind not seeing Rashford the rest of the season.
But I said that though, Rashford and Casemiro could relax for the rest of the season.
Casemiro have a role to play the centre back role. You know? I find he was better there than in the midfield earlier, to be honest. But yes, we need somebody to play with Kobe Miro in the middle of the field. We have nobody.
Like who so?
We have nobody.
Boy, I find that this boy who come on and get a little cameo. I hope to see him play a little more today.
Yeah, Foster not look too bad.
Foster not look bad at all.
Yeah. Let me just get some comments on Bigger Rapids. Guys, Arvin on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying just wake up watching from India today.
Yeah, man.
Boy.
Nice.
Nice,
man. Yeah, man. Nicky, bless night, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. Ethan saying here Chelsea ain't taking that offer, huh? And then they gotta be smoking cool. He's saying Jackson is hurtful to watch, knowing the levels of strikers Chelsea usually have. Drogba and Costa, he ain't it. Yeah, for real.
I hope they keep him for long.
Yeah, Anderson saying here Nico I unplug a while now.
No, you have to do that, boy. You have to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Joey saying Nico I will teach you how to not let Man United frustrate you.
Tell me that. I'm a private message, man. I need to know. I need to know.
Nico like licks. He's not saying Nico like licks, right? Jody, please enlighten me. Yeah, he want to know too.
Yeah, Jody.
Right. Arvin saying Nico, I take a
sabbatical. Yeah, see, that's a sabbatical.
Okay, a little while now. Can't be sending my pressure every weekend. So for
I agree.
Yeah. Give Amar a chance. Alright. He taking it's a sabbatical he meant, right? Jody saying here, when is game day? Just find something to do when the game on and turn off notifications from your app.
Nah, dude, I thought you were coming with something a little more expansive than that.
I will do all them things, but the fact is, around too much Manchester United fans.
Yeah, to be messaging
I'll get news somehow. It will filter to me.
And Bantamen too, be Bantain here. Your team is crap.
Oh gosh,
You know?
don't talk about the Manchester haters. They just
Yeah.
find me.
You understand?
Big up to Arsenal fans same way.
Yeah. It's something well, boy, I nearly pelt my phone today, boy.
That's that stress is unbearable.
Yeah. Well, fellas, again, it was nice. It was nice. It good after that kind of frustration to come here and have a good laugh and a healthy discussion. Nice therapy session. So Nico, Phil, Chef Simeon, it was nice, and even those in the comments, those who stay from start to finish, we appreciate it, man. And thanks for all the likes and all the shares as well. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, guys. We could be here again. When we playing Sheffield, Saturday or Sunday?
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes, so we're gonna be here Wednesday again. So Jody's saying the therapy will continue Wednesday. We know there's no therapy now, but oh God. So guys, we're gonna be here again on Wednesday, hoping for some kind of positivity and that kind of thing. So have a good night, fellas.
Good night.
See you on the next one. Listen.